Hey everybody, this is Dave McKeever and Richard Hunley. We are brokers here with Advanced One McKeever Real Estate in Stockton, and this is our Ask the Broker show. Each Friday we do our show called Ask the Brokers, since we're both brokers. And the show's about real estate tips and tricks, and we help agents with objections and marketing strategies, and we talk about trends of the market. So today that's exactly what we're going to do.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about trends in this marketplace today. We talk a lot about why it's such a great time to sell a home, and basically that's because of low inventory. The sellers are kind of in control of the sale in terms of the price, the terms, the dates, and all sorts of things. They just have a better control over the whole situation, unfortunately.
Yes.
For buyers. But I read this article, and it's about why homeowners have great selling power today, more so than just because it's low inventory. So there's a couple things I wanted to point out to you today that I found very interesting. This basically states that homeowners have stayed in their homes longer than typically. It was 7 to 10 years, and I think it's a little bit longer now. But because of the rise, we've had a big rise in prices, haven't we, in the last few years?
Yeah, last 3 or 4.
Yeah. This article states that prices have risen, since basically 2012, the last 8 years. Homeowners have stayed in their homes longer, so therefore they've gained a lot of equity.
More equity.
Okay. So there's an interesting quote here that says, over the past 10 years, the equity position of homeowners has positively changed as a result of 8 years of rising home prices. As the economy climbed out of the recession, in the first quarter of 2010, it states nearly 26% of homes were still underwater, meaning they owed more than what the home was worth. But compared to 2020 of this year, the first quarter, just 3.4% of people were underwater.
Quite a difference.
So we went from 26% of homes, a quarter of all homes, to 3.4% of homes are now just underwater.
So people living in their home, staying in their home longer, plus one, maybe even 2 markets that moved up, have the seller sitting in a pretty position to, and of course the big one going on right now in our local market here is the lack of inventory. So here's a seller with good equity and basically controlling the market because of they might be the only house for sale in the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
There's not one in my neighborhood for sale, not within a quarter mile anyway in my whole neighborhood. I saw a sale just the other day where the equity that the seller made was $500,000.
Wow.
Of course, that was not here in this town. It was over in the Bay Area. But still, there's an example of, yes, sellers are in a comfortable position right now.
Yeah, I think one of the things that comes to mind when I read this is, it's a great opportunity for some folks who say they bought 5-6 years ago, and it's a great opportunity for people to maybe move up. Say you bought that 3-bedroom, 1-bath house that's 1,100 square feet. Maybe you've outgrown it a little bit. Maybe it's time to go look for a 3-bed, 2-bathroom house that's 1,600 square feet, or get a 4-bed, 2-bath home that's 1,800 square feet, or go from a condo to that house. Utilize that equity to put down, prices have gone up, but utilize the equity as a large down payment on the new house, and take advantage of the low rates at the same time. And your payments may not be very much higher than they are now in the house you're in. It's about utilizing the equity that this article has said that we've all gained. Matter of fact, it says homeowners since 2010 have had an aggregate of $6.2 trillion of home equity since the first quarter of 2010. the average homeowner's gained about $106,100 in equity.
I would bet since 2010 that might be even more right here locally.
In our, yeah.
Definitely 50, 70, 80 miles away, they've gained more.
Yeah, this is looking at the entire United States. So cities like Kansas City or the Midwest maybe a little bit less, but here
Yeah.
out in the Bay Area, it could be double or triple that
Yeah, wow.
or more.
So this trend shows that sellers are in charge. Now, David, what do you think? Is there a drastic drop in the near future?
Well, it's always been a supply and demand story. So as long as there's lack of supply, then we're going to see this trend continue. We're going to see prices continue to rise. Maybe not as quickly as they had been in the last couple of years, but we'll slowly see appreciation.
Yep.
Until it turns around, then we're going to see this trend continue.
I think that, and the Bay Area, you know, kind of leads us over here in the valley, and they haven't started taking their fall. Maybe they're leveling out a little bit, maybe not, but they're not falling yet. We tend to continue even after they start falling because we're so much less than them, and a lot of the Bay Area starts coming over here driving our prices up some more. So that, along with the lack of inventory, kind of shows me that we don't have a drop coming anytime soon. Now, of course, things could change. You know, we have the big election coming up, and you know, the COVID and everything else. We've got all kind of weird things going on. But normally speaking, I think those two things point at that maybe we don't have a drop coming anytime soon at all.
Yeah, I don't. Not for 2020. You know, I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah.
Not much is gonna change, even though it is an election year.
Right.
Well, the Federal Reserve's already talked about how they're going to keep rates low for some time. You know,
Thank you,
into the future.
Feds,
Yeah.
whoever you might be after the election. Thank you if you keep it that way. If you don't, then I take back that thank you.
All right.
But I think we have some normal real estate trends that show us that we are not anywhere close to a crash or a setback. That if anything, we might even still be going up more.
Yeah. Now, this article does say in the bottom part that in the first quarter of this year, the average homeowner who sold their home they gained about $75,000 compared to the second quarter of last year. So about a year ago, it was about $65,000. So they've made $10,000 more on an average case, an average sale, the first quarter of this year. So, this homeowners are making about $10,000 more. You know, if that trend continues, then next year this time it'll be $85,000.
It'll be more.
You know.
Yeah, wow.
But I would just encourage, if you're here in Stockton or if you're anywhere that you're watching this video, that talk to a realtor. We can help you to kind of evaluate the value of the home, evaluate your equity position in your home. If you had any thoughts of selling, you can run some numbers, get an estimate on what you would net after the close of your sale. You might be surprised that, we're seeing large chunks of equity that people are gaining here. So you might be surprised at what your home is worth.
Yeah. Pleasant surprise. So definitely, I track my home, and a lot of people do track their own home, and we see it still going up with possibilities of continuing, I think, even into next year.
Could be.
And, long as things don't get too crazy, which it's already kind of crazy, just not anything worse. I think we have a good, healthy market going on here.
Yeah, I saw a quote this morning actually from The Economist, I think at Realtor.com, that said, normally this time of year, or in the tail end of August into September, that the housing market really starts to slow down because kids go back to school, people get back into their routines. But he said it's the opposite that's happening. We're still seeing a really robust, busy, summer market. There's no signs of it slowing down.
No.
And there you said there's just so much pent-up demand from the shelter in place that he thinks the market's just going to continue all the way through the end of the year.
you hit a point I was going to go on. I think this COVID thing, because people felt so, I don't know, secluded, pent up, that they're out. And you have, what do you think we have here? 3 to 5 buyers for every seller, or maybe even more.
It seems that way. It does. It seems that way.
Long as that trend keeps up, so will the market. It'll keep up too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we'll end it with that. Sellers definitely in control. Sellers have the equity. They have the upper hand in these markets, so we say. So
Yes.
we'll leave it at that for today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please hit subscribe if you want to watch more of our videos on YouTube. And we will see you next Friday. Thank you.